Today we're going to discuss 10 ways to talk to the FDA and how that should be accomplished. One of the biggest reasons I get reached out to is because companies are saying that they want to communicate with the FDA but aren't sure how to do it. What are ways in which they can preempt certain damage, or if the damage has been done, ameliorate or sort of fix or address the damage that has been done. So today we're going to discuss 10 ways of getting there.
This is the Darshan Talks podcast, regulatory guy, irregular podcast with host Darshan Kulkarni. You can find the show on Twitter at Darshan Talks or the show's website at darshantalks.com.
Number 1, citizens petitions. So a citizen's petition is basically a way to reach out to the FDA and a bunch of different agencies, but we'll talk primarily about the FDA. Reach out to the FDA and tell them about an issue of interest. Citizens petitions can be for a variety of things. It doesn't have to be necessarily from you. I've personally written citizens petitions on behalf of other companies. Sometimes you're writing citizens petitions on behalf of a group of companies. So if you want to hold back, if you don't want the FDA to know, or if you want to point out that it is not just a one company problem, a citizens petition might be the way to go. Another way might be responding to the FDA via the Federal Register. So the FDA will put out notices all the time. They will say, here are some issues we're thinking about dealing with. We would like your commentary on this. So responding to the Federal Register is one other way to get there. Number 3, going to a public hearing. A public hearing is an opportunity to reach out to the FDA. The FDA will organize these hearings, and you can go to the FDA and talk to them and explain and express concerns that you might have. The most recent one that was very popular was the CBD hearing on cannabis, and how should the FDA deal with it in light of the recent Farm Bill. Another conversation that you might be able to have is in the context of responding to 483s or titled and untitled letters. So essentially, the FDA has come in, they've expressed that they have some kind of problem with what you have, and this might be a opportunity to explain to the FDA what your side of the story is. It might be, mea culpa, we made a mistake, here's how we're going to fix it. Or it might be, FDA, you misunderstood. This is what we do. This is completely in compliance with what we have and what the FDA expects. Your inspector simply didn't understand. So again, you have to be very careful about how you structure these conversations. Another way to look at these, another consideration, another conversation would be in the context of meetings. And the FDA has 3 different types of meetings, type A, type B, type C, but you can schedule a meeting with the FDA. When you schedule a meeting with the FDA, you reach out to the FDA, you talk to them, you explain to them about what your plans are. And it's an opportunity for the FDA, and you have to structure it so that you tell the FDA exactly what to expect, what kind of opinion you're looking for, what kind of information you're going to give to them, and how they can opine or not opine, or give you a yay or a nay. Then there's the formal dispute resolution process. Then there's the administrative law judge, so you can actually approve from the administrative law judge. You can actually, typically done in the context of civil monetary penalties, which can be in the millions, if not the billions of dollars. But that might be another opportunity for you to reach out to the FDA through the administrative law judge and sort of set precedent. Another way would be appeals. So the process of reaching out to the administrative law judge can be either for tobacco or not for tobacco, and there's slightly different processes and slightly different expectations. But so that's number 8 and 9. And then the last one that we're going to discuss is going to be appeals to the board. And what that really means is, if you've got a situation where you don't even like what the administrative law judge has come out and said, then you have to start thinking about, do I still want to reach on? At that point, you can actually go to the to the board and appeal that. Again, in the context of the FDA, it's typically done as in the context of civil monetary penalties. There are some exceptions to that, but for the most part, that's really where you are. And then after that, you can actually go to go to court and actually appeal that. Feel free to reach out to me. Feel free to let me know if you have questions. Feel free to subscribe. And we're going to have a lot more coming. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.
This is the Darshan Talks podcast, regulatory guy, irregular podcast with host Darshan Kulkarni. You can find the show on Twitter at Darshan Talks or the show's website at darshantalks.com.